All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this session. Here we will take a look at WikiProject Govdirectory.
Hello, and I'm Albin, and with me I got Jan.
Yes, and I'll share a link to the Etherpad in the chat. We have put a few links there that might be good for you to have. In this session, we will show this wiki project and how you can add a country to it. It's not going to be really like a workshop because we have a little bit too little time. So Albin and I will be moving on fairly quickly. And Joy, would you mind muting? All right, thank you. So we'll be moving on fairly quickly, and you can go back and watch the video later because this is also being recorded. So let's first just take a look at the wiki page here. You can see there's a number of different tabs, but we're going to stick mostly to the main tab. And what we're trying to do, the main goal of this entire thing, is to try to get some order on Wikidata of all the public institutions, that is the government agencies on all the different levels, so that we can query them and find information about them. Because what will that enable us to do, Albin?
I was wondering if we should actually exemplify this to
this or to one?
Yeah, a country of some kind at least.
Yes.
So we can head down to Sweden, as it's an example which we have spent a lot of time on.
Yep.
And I think it illustrates very well. Let's see if it loads. There we go. So what we have done here is to list for each of the various levels of government in Sweden. We have listed all the agencies. And by having this in Wikidata and also having their contact information or the person who is the director and so on in Wikidata, we enable us to get this type of information, which is incredibly powerful once you are in a place with things like freedom of information or just in need of contact government, because we can centralize this information in an open way and also present it.
Yeah, and since the world is so large, we have not only divided this in countries, but also in levels here, as you can see, and types even within levels sometimes, because otherwise we get so large data sets that it's hard to really try to see, do I have duplicates? Is there something missing? But when you can break them down, it gets easier to get one level down and put this little green check mark, which also feels very fulfilling, knowing that, all right, now we have all the Swedish courts.
Exactly. So that's a great example. We have a volunteer here who had said there should be 83 courts in Sweden. And when there is a query that returns 83 courts from Sweden and someone had a look at it, it gets a green check mark and you can continue to the next level.
Yeah, and we'll just render it here. And now this didn't have a counter, but I think if we go to the edit Sparkle query here and render it again, we can quickly see that. It should be quick. Yes, and you can see here 83 results.
Right. I'm very happy that we got the right number.
Yes. So that makes it possible when we have the queries to also see how sort of good data do we have. So we set up a star system here so that we know that when we can create a query, that is sort of a checkpoint. And of course, we need something to compare it to. So finding official sources is also good. And I think now we're going to start trying to rush through setting up the page for Nigeria. So we also made a template here. So I'll just write Nigeria and press the add a new country.
Yeah.
I'll load some text that we need to fix a little bit.
And you can already find a bunch of countries which someone has already started on in that list. And you can also just type any country there.
Yeah. So I'm going to start replacing things here that says country with Nigeria. Country, Nigeria. And then there's country here down Nigeria 3 times. Oh. And once in the bottom for the category, I'll need to add it like that. And then we need to find out the QID to get this header template to work. So the QID for Nigeria, I don't know it by heart. Let's see if Wikidata will be quick to tell me. I didn't click on it. Q1033. All right. So I'll add Q1033 here and save. And this will, of course, not have a lot of things in it, but it's a start.
Yeah, and especially it adds this header we can see here, which adds some basic information, giving us some hints towards what we're looking for.
So what we'll be trying to do here today is start with some of these, just to show you a way of doing it. And I think it will be easiest for us to start with the first level administrative unit agencies. And as a little help, there's another sister Wiki project, so to speak, that is already doing great work that you can take a look at. The link is also in the Etherpad. It's WikiProject Country Subdivisions. And if we scroll down here to Nigeria, you can see I've been clicking here. It says it should be 36 states. And this is really good because these usually link to Wikipedia article that you also can read about it. And here we see that it's actually a little bit more complex. It's 36 states and 1 federal capital territory. So depending on how Wikidata has modeled this, we might find 36 or 37. So we'll have to see that later. This actually has a good source as well. So we're going to add this source to the page we created. And why is the edit button? Let me reload that. Oh, there it comes. Strange. So we have put here in a hidden wiki text, if possible, find an official source. So now we can make a reference here, put this in here, so that other people know where we got the number from. And should be 36 plus 1. And start with publishing that. Then we at least have a target for us. And from these pages, usually you can just go to the Wikidata item for it to see, state of Nigeria. If we query for all of these, we might get close to what we want. So we'll copy this QID for state of Nigeria and just make a query. No, we're not going to make a quick statement. There we go. This one will be quite simple as a start. So we're just going to see what will the result be if we ask for things that are instances of this. This might be close, this might be far away, depending on how the data in Wikidata looks. So let's just run it.
Right.
47. That's a little bit too much.
Indeed, 10 too many.
We can always try to remove things that have been abolished or dissolved. Let's see if that gets us anywhere closer. No, it didn't. We can see if we remove things with an end date. But that was end date. But this is 582 is end date. WD. That's where we need to go.
Oh,
Let's try that again.
indeed.
37.
There we go. So they were dissolved.
And here's the federal capital. So we got the query right here. So this is the query that we wanted. So we'll just copy this, go back to our Wikidata page here, edit this and paste in the query. Query for all first should be 36 plus 1. And we can put now
a check mark
after it. And then, of course, we can head up back to the top level and add Nigeria to the list here as well. So let's see, we'll edit here. I think Nigeria is already on the top level, so we can copy this one. And then when we add it in the first level, we can add it, give it 2 stars.
Indeed. So we got this starring system that we got from the Ever Politician wiki project. They got a similar star system there, and we kind of changed up slightly to enable it here. I think 2 stars here mean that we know that all items exist and all previous item got an end date or is replaced by or something like that.
Yes.
1 star when it just got, we know that all items exist, but we aren't able to figure out the old ones, the dissolved ones, for example, and such. And then we even got a slightly white star when it's just, we just know that the structure of the items are in place. So there exists an item which they can use as an instance of and so on.
Indeed. So this is sort of good progress. Now we have a good start for one of the levels. I don't have local knowledge to be sure this is all the levels on this, or all the agencies on this level. There might be more depending on your country.
Indeed.
And for the state level, it's usually also quite tricky because it varies so much between country. So try to look at your government pages and try to find some good sources for what agencies there are. And then just work your way through all the levels. And then to see how you actually are doing, we also are using these property dashboards or integrality tool. So we're going to add one for the first level since we at least have something that we could show there. We have a query created for it. Unfortunately, we don't have this same templating here, so we'll need to borrow something from another page. So we'll head over to the Swedish page again and scroll all the way down to the bottom here. I think we're going to see. So here's their first level agency subpage. We're going to borrow the wiki syntax from here and just adapt it. And this property works a little bit like the property dashboard, a little bit like the Listeria list. So it's a start thing and an end thing. And in between is the data updated by the bot. So we're going to copy the first part here and put it on our page. And then we're going to take the bottom and put it on our page. And then the bot in between here are going to add some things. Now I copied some Sweden. So I have to replace that with Nigeria again. And then, of course, this part is the query for Sweden. So we have to replace that what we just created. So we'll just go here And all we need is this. And we'll copy that and add that here. And hopefully, if I publish this now, it will look good. It does. And then when I press manually update, the bot will make a few queries and hopefully it'll work. Oh, yes, it did. So
let's see.
It shows us that all of these have, this is interesting. This one got the 47 here again.
Yeah, it didn't pick up the -1.
All right. But even with the 47, all of them have the inception date, which is good. All of them have the country. All of them has a capital as well. And 37 has the official website, so that might be the ones that are current. Why didn't it pick up them? Let's see all entities. So if I run this query, how it looks. That doesn't look good at all. Try it again. This one gives 47.
Oh, I think because we missed renaming item in the minus query to entity.
Very good catch. So the property dashboard is a little bit picky with the things here. So I'll have to change the item here to entity. All right. And let the bot go to work again. You can close this. This should be a green light. Oh, this was slower. There it goes. It's at least a green light, but 4 times slower. And now we got 37. And yes, many good 100% here.
Indeed.
And we try to do, when we do have a good coverage of the basic things, to even go more detailed on the contact, perhaps change a column for phone number or email address or something like that, because that's also very common ways to take contact with your government. We have a question here from Joseph Anthony asking if there is a Telegram group or any platform for guidance and questioning. So far, we haven't been using any chat, but we're really reactive on the talk pages for all of these. So if you put anything there, that's also possible.
Yeah. The main talk page for the Wiki project itself is rather active, and it shouldn't be much time before one receives a response.
Yeah, so this discuss here. And as you can see, there has been a lot of talking going on here. And it's also possible, of course, to do detailed discussions per country if you think that's more useful. Should we quickly show how we go from here to...
Yeah.
So in the bottom here, there's a link to the GitHub repository, because to make this show up on the website, it's not enough to just
have we show the website, Jan?
We have really quickly show the website. Let's go there.
Let's talk about that rather than...
Let you talk, and I'll guide
Okay, so this Wiki project also got a second part. So we want people who are not familiar with Wikidata or even the Wikiverse in its role to be able to find this type of information, which we use gather in Wikidata. So with a bit of support from Wikimedia Deutschland, we created a website where we can actually display this information and where people can find all of this and contact their government in all the various ways that we collect. So if we head over to an example country, so explore by country, We can tick Sweden just because we know it has a lot of content, but there are a couple of Orchard ones there. And we got some basic information about the country, similar to the info box on Wikipedia. But we also got this full list of agencies which we can search and filter in case we want. So let's search for, let's see what you're going for. Privacy protection. The Swedish Authority for Privacy Protection. This is a good example. Here, again, similar, we got the info box and such, with a bit of basic information, the official website, the phone, we've got a button for email, the main regulatory text, as well as its platform and accounts when you scroll down there. So people can know how to contact this government agency. And in particular in Sweden and many other countries which has some type of basic freedom of information, the government is actually required to give some type of response. But it can be tricky anyway for a user to find where do I contact them to begin with. And this page kind of gives people an entry point, no matter if they are activists or journalists or something different, just a concerned citizen. Yeah.
Yes, so that shows how it can look like. And do we have another question in the chat? Oh, yes, we asked about the Telegram group. We don't have a Telegram group right now, no. And then to get here, this is something that you might want to do yourself, but you're also free to ping that if you have worked on your page over on Wikidata and have it up to 3 stars, you can always ping us and say, hey, I would like to get this to the website. If you're feeling fluent in GitHub, we have set up a guide for how you can quickly go from the Wikidata query into a form, so that we can also show it on the website in the right way. And it's actually mostly just rewriting the query in a specific way.
Indeed. And we have collected all of these links and such in the Etherpad. You can use both the talk page as well as the Etherpad itself to ask more questions. We will keep a lookout for the time being.
Yeah. And if you have any other questions, I think we have 2 or 3 minutes, 2 minutes left. So please ask away. And we're always around the Wiki projects also. My username is like my last name, Ainali. So you can find me. And Albin, your username is?
ABBE98. Which now is going into the Etherpad.
All right, great. There we go in the top. And I think, well, let's quickly browse through this page as well in the top here. So we showed you the main site. We also have the discussion page. And then we have a page for events where you can see, like today we're here. And earlier today we were at the CE Online. Every Friday. So this is almost like the chat. Every Friday we also have a hangout, not a hangout. We do use Jitsi, but we do a collab hour where we just sit and work, and everyone are welcome to join. We have collected a few sample queries that might be useful for you, and we also have some sort of data model if you want to have some clue on how you could model your institutions better. And the error reports is for incoming things from the website. So far, no one has reported an error there yet, but I'm sure there's some.
Right.
I think we will be cut off in 10 seconds, so thank you, everybody.
Great timing. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, John and Albin, for the enlightening session. So I had also gone through the Wikidata governance project, and I think I have a bit of clarity now. And I'm sure I'm going to get involved way much more than I've been before. I see the number of our participants increasing. Thank you very much, everyone. We've come to the end of this session. Please check the Etherpad for the links on how to get more involved in this project. And see you around. I'll be bringing the session to a close now.